Hey, John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So, I'm going to let you see into my Gmail inbox today because I've gotten a couple of requests now to go over how I get to inbox zero every day and how I handle email and just what does the world of Simple Programmer and John Sonmez look like as far as email goes. So, the basic place to start, I think, here is to talk about one of the most important features I've got set up in my Gmail inbox, which is this multiple inboxes. So this is something that I've had on for a while, and you can see that I have multiple inboxes. I've got my regular inbox, I've got starred, drafts. Heather, that's my wife, emails from her, so I can quickly reference those. The Entreprogrammers group, this is the Entreprogrammers podcast, our mastermind group, our private email. And then Manning, which is my book publisher, so I'm trying to keep track of all the stuff going on with my book. Now that my book's out, I'll probably change this to whatever other project I'm working on. Sometimes that has been Pluralsight when I've been working on Pluralsight courses. But you can turn that on by going to settings, and then if you go in here under labs, there's this multiple inboxes. Here it is. So you can just enable that. And then here you can set up multiple inboxes with different search queries. And this I find really useful, right? Because it kind of splits things up. I can archive things quicker because I know I can access them right away. So I don't have to keep things sitting in my inbox because I'm afraid that I'll lose them or starring things unnecessarily, because I can just keep track of the important things that I need here. So this comes in pretty handy. The other thing that might be interesting is to know that I do follow inbox zero, and I'm pretty religious about it. There's very few days where I don't have inbox zero at the end of the day, at least. And sort of my strategy for doing that is to batch things up. Now, I'm not always perfect at this, but I generally try to look at email and answer email at 1 or 2 times a day and not letting it interrupt me all day long. There's 2 reasons for this. One, of course, is it makes me more efficient because I'm not being interrupted all day long. And 2, I can be more efficient at actually replying to emails and getting through my emails if I do it that way. So I'm actually going to go through some emails here. I'm not going to go through all my emails, but I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of of how I process my emails in a second. But before I get to that, let me talk about a little bit about my general email strategy. So I get a lot of emails in a day, probably over 100 on a lot of days, and I generally respond to every email. A lot of people don't believe this. They think, well, how can you respond to all these people? But I generally do, unless you send me something really stupid. And again, what I mean by really stupid is just something that's rude, that is just asking for something from me without with not even taking time to put to write a nicely formatted email, or something that shows that you actually care a little bit. If you just want me to give you the secrets of being the best software developer in the world, I'm probably not even going to reply to that. But if you send me an honest email, and in fact, the smaller the email is, that's more to the point, the more likely you're going to get a fast response from me. But I usually respond pretty quickly, usually within a day. This isn't an invitation to send me a ton of emails, but if I can help you, I will definitely help you. And I find that this is important. This is one of the things that really helps me to grow my audience, and I want to help people. So I generally try to do that, and I'll do this as long as it scales. At some point, obviously, I won't be able to answer all my emails. But anyway, so what I'll typically do is just go through my emails and reply through all of these. I'm actually not going to go through all of these emails right now, just because some of them might have some content that I don't want to just share with the world, because people are writing me emails and they don't expect to have everyone see the email that they wrote me. But anyway, the basic idea is to go through all these emails and to not leave the things in the inbox. See, this is a difficult thing. I also try not to star things unless I'm going to immediately be using them. So I did this video on my weekly planning, and I'll pull up my board here. You can see there's a bunch of stuff in the next week and the later column. And essentially what I'll do is I'll have this up when I'm going through my email, and as I'm working through my email, if there's something that needs to be done, I'll either throw it on the calendar or I'll throw it on there. So, everything that I'm doing in my email should fall into the category of I can reply to it right now. I can put it on my calendar for a later date, or I can put it on my Kanban board, on Kanban flow or some kind of task. I also use Workflowy. I need to manage it somewhere where it's work that I need to do or something that I need to remember. I try to get it out of my inbox. You can see I'm already getting emails that are coming in here now. But that's kind of the basic strategy that I use. The other thing to note about how I process my emails is that a lot of my emails go to this tool called UnrollMe. Now, if you subscribe to my email newsletter, don't UnrollMe. You want to get my messages, my emails right away. But a lot of the things I subscribe to, like Discuss feed, different things, I'll throw them in here because I can look at them all at once, right? That's what the service does. So if you checked it out at UnrollMe, it's really useful because it basically takes, I don't know, sometimes like 40 emails out of my inbox and puts them all into one email that I get every day, and that I can just look at and go through there, and it really cuts down a lot of the clutter. So that is a big thing to getting the inbox zero, because otherwise I'd have to delete all those emails individually. It basically takes those emails automatically, puts them into archive, and then gives me one roll up at the end of the day. Really, really useful tool. A couple other tools that I use that you'll notice in my email. One of them is Boomerang. So if I went to my UnrollMe, you can see this Boomerang here. I could click this. If no one responds, right, this is a Chrome plugin, in so many hours, or you can set this to go at a specific time or random time, all kinds of stuff like that. I started using another tool called Sidekick that sort of lets you do the same thing, but it also will let you track when someone opens your email, which is sometimes useful. I just started using this again. I'm not totally sure about that one, but the main one that I use is Boomerang to basically throw those back. The other thing that I do is I sometimes have a few canned responses in draft, like Gmail lets you use that, but I really don't use that very often. I could probably be a little bit more efficient if I did. And I try not to get too crazy with making use of folders and labels and all that, because you can spend a lot of time labeling everything that, you can just search here in Gmail, right? So most of the time I can find things by searching. What I will do, though, is you'll notice that I've got questions labeled, and like questions that I answer for YouTube. If someone asks me a question, sometimes instead of replying back to them, or maybe I'll reply back and say, hey, I'm going to do a YouTube video or do a blog post on that, I'll throw it in here, and then whenever I have some questions, need to create YouTube videos or something like that, I can go through here and do that. In fact, that's where this one is coming from, is a question here. So that's it. That's really my major portion of my email strategy. The key thing is to go through, and for every item, for me, figure out what can I do. Am I replying to this thing now? Am I scheduling on the calendar? Am I boomeranging it to come back later? Right? Is it going to be starred because I'm going to handle this, or I need this right in front of me? For example, I need this Cheesecake Factory e-slice of joy because I need these free cheesecake slices, and I need to remember this so that I use this. So I've starred that one. But yeah, that's kind of the basic strategy. I'm using this multiple inboxes. I try not to check my email all throughout the day. I've got the notifications turned off on my phone. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, I'm happy to hear them. And if you saw something sensitive in my inbox, you probably didn't, but let me know so I can bleep it out or something and re-upload the video. But I think this is all fine. Anyway, that's how I do it. If you like this video of looking at my inbox, then like it and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more interesting things than my email, but a lot of people requested this, so that's why I did it. So all right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.